You know, Miguel own a press, is the only Rasta in Jamaica that is keeping the struggle vibrant, that I know own a press, that has seen it fit to press and republish the utterances of Haile Selassie the first, and we give thanks to that because that is so much of an important document to I and I. You know, we would hope that every Rasta man and woman have a copy of that book because it is available, and Miguel Lan has made it available to Rasta people so that we can now read what Haile Selassie say on different topics and different subjects, because we have already know what Isaiah say, and we don't know what Jeremiah say, and we don't know what Ezekiel say. So as Rasta now, we need to know the man who is the center and the pivotal point of our consciousness. We need to know what him say on different topics. So we give thanks to Miguel to say to have that foresight to republish that book. As a matter of fact, it's the only book I read and see now. It say any part of this book can be reprinted without any authority from anybody. You understand? So you can, you know, we give that to that. Where's Miguel?
Yeah, man. That is the foresight of Emperor Haile Selassie, you know. That him really never put no limit on his words. So you can multiply it, expand it, publish it, reprint it. All you have to do is just give it the dignity that it deserves.
Yes.
And just expand it through the earth.
Yeah, man. And we give thanks to say, as we said before, that the eye has seen it, you know, for really republish it. There's no excuse. Because, you know, we go to Ethiopia and we used to get it off of the street, you know. We go to Ethiopia, we buy it in bulk from the youth them and come back to Jamaica with them. But now, when we go to Ethiopia, we hardly see them on the street again, you know. We don't see them again. It's either we buy them out or whatsoever. But now, it can be a continuous thing, you know. We can now have it without waiting for someone to go to Ethiopia to bring a copy of it to us, you know. So we give thanks to that.
And you know, some of the other books like the whole Pibby, you know that in South Africa they did a big feature on the Pibby, which we brought back out. They did a feature on it in the newspapers in South Africa. They did a television program on the book, The Holy Pibby.
Yeah?
Yes, and in fact, because the brother who wrote The Holy Pibby, Ashley Rogers, he had set up a branch of the church in Kimberley in South Africa. And they have relocated the site where he had set up that church. And in fact now are doing a television documentary to which they have invited myself and Brother Seiko to come down in, I think it's February, in South Africa to help to, you know,
that sounds good.
Let them know more about the Holy Pibby.
For the listeners them who don't know what we're referring to, can I expound upon it?
The Holy Pibby is one of the early books that influenced the Rastafari movement. Books like the Holy Pibby, the Promised Key, the Royal Parchment Scroll, and so on. The Holy Pibby was written by a brother named Ashley Rogers. He's really from Anguilla, but he was living in New York, in New Jersey. And it's a book, some we refer to it as the Holy Pibby or the Black Man's Bible. It's a book which is really, it hit out strongly against the Bible, the Holy Bible as it is. It hit out strongly against in the word church, and it hit out strongly against that old Adam-Abraham ring, as it were. It is a strongly Ethiopic book, and it points people to the God of Ethiopia. And it came out in the 1920s, 1924. And we see it as a book that we should republish, and so on. And it's the only difference between those strong, vibrant brothers and I is that we go higher now and say the God of Ethiopia is Haile Selassie. You know, in terms of making people understand the omnipresent, the omnipotent, and so on. But they have already pointed persons to the Almighty, to Ethiopia, and we have carried it that step further.
All right, you know, over the past weeks, especially, about 2 weeks ago, I was in Miami attending this banquet, Rastafari banquet, and I was a guest speaker, and I was trying to show people, and I don't know how you can relate to it, that the Rastafari did not come with the crowning of Haile Selassie. the advent of Rastafari was there before in crown. But because that is the reason why we say Rastafari. Because there was a group of people who was recognizing Rastafari.
Yes.
And then when he was crowned now, this was now to validate
Definitely
whatever we were saying and what the Marcus Garvey alright. You see, there's a lot of people who joined the Marcus Garvey movement as UNIA members. But when Rastafari was crowned Haile Selassie now, this validated these UNIA members who were Christians minded into the consciousness now that this Jesus Christ, according to how they were preaching it in the UNIA, who was supposed to come now. When Haile Selassie crown now, these UNIA members started to validate their thinking, their Christian thinking, with the crowning of Haile Selassie.
Definitely.
But the name, you see, that is why we never changed the name to Haile Selassie.
Right.
Because there was man who was seeing the regent, Rastafari, before,
That is absolutely correct. That those are the facts. That before 1930, 1920s, 1970s, have evidence in Jamaica of Rastafarian brethren healing for Haile Selassie. He was an emperor then.
It was Rastafari.
But you just call him Rastafari, and therefore we were called Rastafarians. At that time they tend to use Ras and Tafari as two separate words. As time goes by, it becomes one word.
Yes.
So up until now, the crowning was really the announcement to the world that I am here, I am He, I am the Almighty. That was what the crowning was all about in 1930. But before that, many of I and I had recognized him.
Rastafari.
Most definitely,
yes.
And we were persecuted for it.
Before 1930.
Before 1930. We had many of I and I.
Documents. As a man who scrolled the whole newspapers and you have any documents of the what you call the persecution of these, whatever they call the before 1930. Before 1930.
Before 1930. The Gleaner have 1920. The PB. The PB was, when it came out in 1924, it was banned in Jamaica.
Yes.
The Royal Parchment Scroll, the Gleaner called it rubbish. And the people who read this, them is rubbish too.
Yes.
Before 1930, we were called South Sea cannibals. The Gleaner.
How you think the ones them before 1930 got this understanding about Tafari, Makonnen? How you think them get it?
I think at the end of during the war, before the war, well, you might even have to go even further back, because the persecution that Ethiopia was going under, which culminated in the Battle of Adwa. Ethiopia had about
the Battle of Adwa was before Haile Selassie.
Yes, 1896. But you had you had 13 wars in about 20 years that Ethiopia fought with the dervishes, that is the Muslims and so on, Italians and the British. Several wars, which culminated in the Battle of Adwa. From the Battle of Adwa now, it led up to the First World War. And black people now...
This is 1914.
1914, right.
Haile Selassie was about 1892, 14, about 20 years old.
Yes, 14 and 1892, yes.
About 14.
Right. Yes, 14 and 8. Yes, that will make him 20 odd. Yes. But what you find now is that generally, black people were searching at that time in Jamaica, all over the world. You know, you had even people before the Marcus Garvey movement. You had Edward Blyden, brother there from down in St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. You had a brother named Love.
Who influenced Marcus. From Nassau,
Bahamas. And they had the Back to Africa call too.
Yes.
You know, you had the ex-slaves from places like, because I must remember now, in places like Brazil, Cuba. This is just shortly after slavery abolition of those places, you know. 1870s and all of that. So you had these people now longing to return home. So black people in the West was really searching now and said, look man, whatever the white man teach we is wrong. We have to search now for our black God, our creator, our identity, our black Jesus, and so on. So there's a whole lot of evidence to show that before 1930, the crowning, Haile Selassie was
what I
revered.
want to find out, you see, in the history, you see, is how or who make the link in a Jamaica with Rastafari, not with Haile Selassie. You see, I want to find how the link did make with Rastafari, because we know of, as we said, the advent of Haile Selassie. But there must have been something happening before 1930 that really excites black people.
Yes,
That's with Rastafari.
That's a good point. That's a good point, because the books now, like the Holy Pibby, Royal Parchment Scroll, Promise Key, and many of these books pointed to the god of Ethiopia.
Yes, and that was before 1930.
And that's before 1930. All of these early books, and even the other books that came out late 1890s, the people always look to the god of, point to the god of Ethiopia. Now, I don't think they meant the present geographical Ethiopia. I think they were more thinking of the wider Africa.
Ethiopia, the land of the burnt field.
Definitely, of black people generally. So with that, those type of prophecies now, pointing people in that direction, I think when Haile Selassie came on Rastafari, before Haile Selassie, when he came on the scene, he was gradually seen as that Masonic one.
Yeah, because he was kind of almost very influential during the time of Zadi too.
From very early.
Yes, he was,
from very early.
The one who was opening up.
Yes.
Ethiopia to certain things.
And also when diplomats and other people went to Ethiopia, they felt that if you don't get Haile Selassie's word, you don't really have the government's word.
Rastafari word.
Yes.
As regent.
As regent.
That time he was king, not king of kings. He
Right.
was king, not king of kings.
Even when he was even governor of Harare.
Yes.
Very powerful too.
Yes. Yes, this is the continent and IRFM where we just warming up. We're warming up because we want to get a picture and understand and clear thinking, because what I am trying to instill in my brethren them as Rastafari, that Rastafari and the history of Rastafari and the teachings of Haile Selassie and the liberty of I and I as Rastafari is so vast that we still don't tap into it yet. And we have spent almost 2,000 years tapping into the Bible, right? Which I am now saying that now we have had enough. And we need now to tap into what we were saying and what we are saying about Ethiopia, about Rastafari. And there's so much things that is still not really penetrate yet. That right now we should have spent the rest of our life or try to penetrate it.
Most definitely. And as a matter of fact, this is why I am encouraging the young Rastafarians now.
Yes.
Because I and I know we had to liberate our minds. Go through some whole heap of struggles with the parents, the barber, that and so on, the police, whole heap of things. So that took up a lot of our energy and our time and early spirit, And we lost many brethren along the way, many bright brethren. But these younger youths now can move straight into it.
Definitely.
And they can, definitely, and they can get straight into analyzing. Because I am of the view, Haile Selassie has given us the cement, the mortar, the sand, the stone. What we build now is important. So I don't want a man just tell me give thanks to life. Every time I book up, give thanks to life and all of that. What do you do with that life? What have you made? What have you created? Have you made a pen we can write? You must do something. Father give you life.
It's not just about having life. Even the dogs have life. Even the pig have life.
The Father do that already. What you doing now to enhance the glory?
Life.
Yes.
And the continuity of life.
Definitely.
And that is very important. We need to make a pen.
You must do something, man.
You must make pen.
Yes. You can't just come from the earth and tell me give thanks to life.
Food every day.
It's a man that grow the food that you eat. It's a man that sit down and just give thanks to life.
Yes. I agree with you. Continue IRFM. All right. Recently, the I and others had a discussion with the minister of what them call him? Remember the man
National Security.
Minister of National Security, KD Knight. And would I like to carry through what was the meeting all about and what What did I present to him and what came out of that meeting there?
Well, we met with KD Knight and we were seeking three things. Well, when we met with him, we just decided for us plan a march. Just plan a march. And we march from King Ital restaurant up to Oxford Road with KD Knight offices. We never have no appointment or anything like that. Because we feel if we try to make appointment and so them just dodge way out. So we just march, go up in office and take them by total surprise. He wasn't there, so I'm sending for him. So when them coming with vex, well vex. You know, as we said, boy, thing on, like when I do the demonstration up here, so on, you know what I'm going to do? Anyway, so the meeting now started out, it was like a war, Muta. War, and as you mentioned that now, because one night, Sister Flo had KD Knight on the program, and even some of the listeners had to call in and say, boy, you know, it's a pity Muta wasn't here for... Because it will be a war with you and him, sir. It will be a war. I tell you how I see. Yes, that means not try to call it up and say, you know, Muta has never invited me, you know.
Well, actually, I've never invited a politician at the president, and I don't tend to stand.
Not only that, because when you don't even want to come back.
You understand? You know, them man, they get enough air time during the day, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, man, hey, you have a man named Bruce Golden Rasta. Every day, he's up on a talk show, you know.
Yes.
I tell you, every day, I think if you just make a record, I just make it just play it.
Yes.
Because the man, I mean, them get enough time during the day. Yes. So this program I know is for we.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes, that is correct. So, we raise the issue of the Relva hardware case. Now, Relva hardware is the brethren that was shot.
We talk about
when we talked about the last program, we did on the brethren phone. At that time when we talked about it, he was alive.
Yes.
After that, no, he died.
Yes.
But the police, them shot the man, and Brother Muta, so we raised that with him. As a matter of fact, we brought a busload of people from Harrison Town, just outside Ochi, that came in to Kingston to bring along to meet with the minister. And this included Jessica Hardware, that is Relva Hardware's mother. And she really poured out the whole thing to KD Knight. You know, for sure what it's like when a mother lose a devoted son. She explained how her other children them gone abroad. Some gone came man, some gone America. Them say, no, him say, Mama, I'm not leaving you, I staying with you. You know, a devoted son. He was about 52 years old.
Yeah, big man.
Yes.
Big man, yeah.
And to know a policeman, and here the irony now, the policeman is still on duty, you know. The policeman hasn't been charged yet. So you try peaceful means that look like you don't get no weird.
So when you tell him to the policeman still left on duty?
Of course, KD Knight say more look into this and
more
you
look
know,
into it.
yes.
They know they look into already the man dead.
Then take statement already.
They look into already him dead.
You can imagine. Yeah. So we brought the mother so that she could explain all of that. And we brought eyewitnesses to the murder that they could tell the minister point blank what happened. We were also asking that there be a moratorium on the ganja situation. Because in that little period of time, several persons were shot by the police because of a spliff. Where an incident at Stony Hill, you're a policeman and you're little wicked, pick up a woman because of a spliff. We had Junior Wilson in Spanish Town shot the policeman on him way to church. Give woman him wife a Bible for hole and come cross and shot the man because of a spliff.
Yeah, the policeman go
at church
with him gun.
With him gun.
I don't think I remember. The policeman go to church with him gun. Give him wife the Bible.
Yes. Come cross the road and shot the man.
That's spliff.
Came on a spark lockdown one Saturday.
So when you say this thing to KD Knight, what you say?
KD Knight, here I know, you see them, KD, him become such a professional politician. Him will look into everything. Enough of this is not his responsibility, it's a commissioner of police responsibility. Some things are...
He's the highest authority.
He's responsible. Of course, man. I mean, of course. Muta turned out to be a war, almost a war between me and KD Knight. War, aggressive, vexness. One time I said to the man, Mr. Knight, we would like to help you, you know, because we realize that you are out of touch. Who out of touch? Is you out of touch? That tells me some mute at touch.
Are you the right dog at the guard?
Down every day. Coronation Market, Barry Street, by Kingston Comprehensive High School. Mute at touch. So where in there? But that is because when you become so paranoid and demagogic, you know, you tend to become that aggressive. So we really feel sorry for him, may I tell you.
And he's feeling the pressure from other talk shows too.
The whole heap.
Everybody don't party.
Yes, I call for him resignation more than anything else.
Yeah. More than any other politician, they ask him for resignation.
Yes, you know. So, and you know what thing, you know amazing thing, every time, you know, this is the second time since KD Knight is a politician that I have had a clash with him. There was a day when his constituency invited me to give a Black History Month talk. And whilst there, him passed through. He wasn't slated to be there and him passed through, you know. And when KD don't hear me get a talk, man, KD Knight get up and start to tell them how he is a student of Marcus Garvey. He is a student of Malcolm X. He was, you know, going on blackness when he was abroad studying. So the chairman from Utah, the constituency, said, boy, him said, it's about 8 years now, we know this constituency, KD Knight. We never know that KD Knight is a student of all them people until Miguel Lord come. Yeah, son. So I don't know all them little things all the while. But I think him always say, and he said at this meeting, you know, I have never, and he emphasized never, smoke any ganja. Never smoke any spliff, never. But you know the time KD Knight, what I mean? But nobody ever believe him. For some reason, nobody ever believe him.
Why him say that? Why him say that?
Well, you know, as a man who lick out hard against ganja, you know. Lick out hard against ganja. So people say, well, you fight it, so you are. You never try it yet. You know, if you try it on the time and all this, and some other, no matter how much time, so they never. Nobody don't believe him. For some reason, other people don't believe it. So,
all roads lead to St. Elizabeth.
Yes.
About those things that relate to I and I in general, you know. We talk about the law, you know. And I know that the main subject all the while is to really bring across to I and I different aspects of the law that is outdated in relationship to how it was said because of the slavery times, still not amended, still not thrown out of our law books, but still used and can be used if necessary to really suppress and oppress I and I still, you know. I remember one time you was mentioning about we were regulated to selling certain provisions, gun provisions and food provisions. I remember that I can.
Yes, man.
Yeah, you know, it was relating that it was in the books.
Yes, it was a law in Jamaica whereby certain trade was reserved for certain people, like for example the retail trade. That means that now things like the supermarket, grocery shop and all them things was reserved for the Chinese, the Syrians, the Indians. This is actually written. This was written law. Written. Right. And that black people now, the law said that black people could not revend the exact words of the law. In other words, we couldn't buy and sell things. Yes. So all we could have done now was sell fish where you catch a sea, fowl where you grow your yard, and ground provisions where you grow.
Alright, so that is taken out of the books now.
That is taken out of the books.
Oh, because I don't want to know if all are illegal. We have become illegal.
No, but
by all our bookstore and
but the influence of that though, the impact of that is that although you might take the law out of the book, but the practice continue because the Chinese and them people still control the retail trade. And I still deal with them on that aspect.
They understand?
Yes.
We love talk about we are hustling, you know.
And I'd like to say this as well, talk about the law, you know, in terms of the Caribbean Court of Justice, when the news will eat these days. I'd like to state that I, man, in principle, fully support the Caribbean Court of Justice. We cannot talk about independence and still going to a white man in England. You understand? We as black people have to set up our own court. Now, most of the arguments that have been put forth against the Caribbean Court of Justice setting up at this time is, one, that they are saying that the possible appointment of corrupt judges.
By politicians.
Two, the questioning of the independence of the judiciary, of the politicians. And 3, the long delays and costs and all these things that occur when people pursue justice. My point is this: these are things that concern anyone who is fighting for justice. And for persons to have this concern is because they know that it exists presently in the judicial system.
Okay.
So we should be fighting even more now to change it up, even in the present judicial system in Jamaica.
Because as we just mentioned rightly, that these things take so long to go through that you almost say, I'm bother.
Yes.
And this is really when we have the British system a rule.
Yes.
The British
Privy Council and things.
So if it takes so long at the Privy Council, which is the so-called epitome of councils, and we are trying to get rid of that now. Oh, we will get rid of that now because we can't get rid of it in the Privy Council, in the Privy Council, the length of time and all these things.
Might even take longer when we have our own.
Okay.
You see what I mean? It might even take longer.
All right, why you saying that it take longer? Why it might take longer?
You see, the infrastructure hasn't changed, you know. Unless they plan to change the infrastructure. That means things like the taking of notes, the provision of documents and all these things is going to be much quicker within the Jamaica and within the Caribbean. If things would have to speed up considerably. And one of the things that I think could make things speed up more is that, for example, when people bring a lawsuit, I am of the view that a youth will leave high school and once him fairly fluent and can read and write properly, like a youth will pass all 7 and 8 GC and all them things there, that youth should be able to file a case on his behalf. And consequently now this whole heap of thing where you have to go to the lawyer already have a whole heap of work, it will take a lot of time before him eventually reach to filing it. And all them things they help hold back things too. There are lots of the things them drafted in a very archaic manner. In the Queen name, where it, where unto, where to far, and where
to English style.
Whole time fool English thing. Because it wasn't based upon law, you know. In them days there, the draftsman who draft the law, he was paid according to how much words he used.
Okay.
Yes. So them wherewithal and wherewithal. It's just pure words.
To get more money.
Definitely. It had nothing to do with the essence.
That is interesting. That is interesting.
So we need to kick out all of them things, man.
Because sometimes you read it, you have to wearing dots within that, and because of that, dear add to, dear to, and dear for to, you know what I mean? It's so like you read a prescription. And you can't understand the prescription. Where you really need is some iron tablet.
That's right.
You need some iron tablet. Where you carry to the pharmacist. If I go like him know something more than you. And when you end up and look on it. But you say, but you know, some iron tablet is that thing. Yeah, alright. So that's how the Caribbean thing.
So we figure that, you know, whether you have the Caribbean Court or the Privy Council, we need to clean up our judicial system and all them. Now, I have always advocated the community courts. We need to get back to the community. This is the African tradition, where you have courts on a tree. You might have every time that tree now, you have community center. But the whole idea is that the community courts, the community must try people. The community must decide justice. You know? And when I analyze what going on in the schools them now.
They stick up in now. Yes. The community, because you have a whole part that going on in Jamaica right now.
But it's unofficial.
But it's done. Alright, you have to know that you have to get rid of the state law, the state...
You have to have the state court for higher matters.
Okay. Oh, alright. It's like, alright. I think it's in America, you know. You have the state law and the federal law.
Yes.
You have the Supreme Court and you have the so it's something like that.
Yes, but we have got community now. August Town.
But they must see the state as a community as opposed to the federal government. Like for instance now, Florida State have its own laws. Yeah. And them try them courts based upon the laws in the state. But you know you have the Supreme. Definitely. Federal now, which is the same thing, but we don't have state, we have communities.
Right. And also, in effect, we have some of that, you know, because we have the magisterial courts that sit in Trelawney, Falmouth, you know, Montego Bay.
But the laws in Falmouth is the same as the line of Kingston.
Yes.
But in America, it don't stay so.
No.
The laws, we can run California, not necessarily run Minneapolis.
That is correct.
All right. So how would that structure now?
The community
court now. And though, when I say a community court that is not run by criminals also in the community.
No, we want decent.
You have set it up. You have set up that.
All right. This is all now. We have the presidents in Africa, whereby the elders now in that community would have come together. You understand? You have a permanent elders council. And on a court day, those elders will come together, whether 7, 9, you have a certain amount of elders. A matter is placed before them. And they in turn now would, if they think necessary, would send and call witnesses. If anybody has a Genie the day and Genie say them, let us ask a man for call Genie. And Genie come and say, and just talk what you say. And then they would give a decision which will be considered binding. They had community courts up at Stony Gut, Paul Bogle and them used to think. All right. The next question that you may ask me now is, how do we implement the decisions? Like, for example, with a lot of the community courts, the emphasis was on restitution. That
to the next family.
Yes, compensation. So if you take with a man cow, you know you have to give back all 3 cow, or you're going to have to work for the family for a month. There was less emphasis on imprisonment.
But you're not advocate that for a murder, though. You're not going to carry that to the federal, to the higher court now. You wouldn't have a community court for a murderer.
No, we'll have probably carry that to the higher.
But like, for instance, now, pre-larceny and them things,
many incidents could have been tried at the
wife beating and everything, you call up a man and say, what do you mean to do that?
Yes. And I feel the community usually have a little more knowledge of the parties and can therefore adjudicate much better.
Yes. Because where I say up now that in community courts now, a man rob a woman and him go to the Dan, and the Dan go to the man and say, what I care about the woman things,
And they carry back. That's how downtown run now.
So,
and it was very effective.
Yes, because man tell her, I got to hear what you the other day. And I was about and the safest place for that kids in that Jamaica you're right now, We said, well, it looks so because everybody look like them smiling. You can see it, so it's a thing. Yeah, I kind of see because I understand the community in Africa. But I just don't want to find out. I let the people them find out where they are saying. If a man try to murder, they'll call some man that the community to try him, and then what you going to do with him? Store him to death. The community going to start store him to death, Because a man right now shot his man to death. When you find him guilty of rape and all everything there, Yeah, this is the continent that I refer coming through. In the beginning I mentioned the Holy PB and the going to Africa for this thing in February. Who don't get responsible for this? Which part in Johannesburg, which part in Cape Town, which part?
I don't get all of the details yet. All I get is some newspaper clippings and some little things.
But because it's in published.
Yes.
The whole PB.
Yes.
It's that thing. They done I have the thing Saturday.
Yeah.
And it would have mentioned reasonings where I for reason and debate about certain things where I confront we as Rasta. I don't know how important it is for people who is not Rasta, at least to consider if you even hear certain reasoning. Right? So maybe it is important for I have that reasoning there as Rasta. But on a wider scale now, a whole heap of ones out there now I look to Rasta for some solution to something. You hear it on the road, you hear the taxi man them, man I said, well, I tell you the truth, Rasta, anytime when we're ready, we're ready, and man come on my shop every day and I say, well, I won't not do Rasta, I mean, so the thing done, Rasta, we're ready for it, I think. Sometimes I wonder how genuine this question is, and then sometimes I wonder also, really and truly, what position I in this time now to really take certain things from his shoulder. The man said the government shall be up on his shoulder. I have the manpower, I have the structure, I have the brilliance to deal with something like that. I have read Bonnie Wheeler saying him going to start a political party. We have I hear even Jah lied for years advocate a political party.
Asta Black now.
Yes, him a run for it.
Set up a political.
Sam Brown was the first Rasta man, we know.
Yes.
Go into this thing.
Yes.
At the time, no man never born him, but them just never vote for him.
Yes.
And I remember Steve McDonald.
Yes.
Remember him?
Yes.
Him did run a thing. I never hear nobody born him, but nobody never does vote for him.
Right. Now campaign with him.
Yeah. How effective you think this would have been now in a Jamaica? Suppose you hear a Bonnie Wheeler out there, a run in an election, or a Asta Black. Well, Asta Black in a Trelawney, but Bonnie Wheeler as an international Rasta man, and everybody respect Bonnie Wheeler at a certain level. But politically, no. How you feel that?
All right. You see, what has happened now, Muta, and the Rasta man have to realize this now. You see, programs like these, Andrea Williams, Sunderman, she doing some very good programs, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
That program where she lick up them maroons, they were sell out that thing on the birthday, you know. I mean, I have to really congratulate her.
I call her and congratulate her.
Well, I did that too.
I end up putting even lick a piece half year.
Yes, myself had to call her after the year.
It make an impression because the next week.
Yes, some of the maroons, them turn up.
Them want to fire against that brother there.
Yes, definitely. And declare that they were not party to that.
Yes, yes.
So, no, this is the thing now we confront Rasta now. Bring the level of consciousness of the people. Is Rasta waking it up now, you know?
Yes.
Rasta bring them to a certain level. Because whether we like it or not, you know, when we song and talk about certain things, it is political, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
When we say to people, think Africa, think black, buy black, open businesses, it's very political. So, having done all of this over the years now, naturally, the people them figure say Rasta should do a little much more now.
Than just educate
them. Having educate them, having bring them to a certain level, if you just leave them now, you know.
Yeah, but what we ask now, are they educated? That is the next thing now.
I would say...
Are the people at the position now to truly accept Rastafari as a political force, are them just seeing Rastafari as a cultural entity amongst them?
This is how I see it.
Yeah.
We have two cultures in Jamaica. We have the upper class institutional Babylon culture. We have popular culture. Roots people, grass people, poor people level. At that level, Rastafari is playing a leadership role. It is when that now clash with the Babylon culture that them now will not accept Rasta. Rasta in a parliament, no, no want that. Rasta own this, Rasta, them don't want that. Yeah. No, and therein lies now that vacuum between. So if it leave up to them, no, them is the minority, you know.
Yeah.
The system people.
Yeah, all right, no.
Them is the minority. The majority of the people, in my view. I mean, if you go down a Matches Lane, you say Haile Selassie I paint up. You go down a Tivoli, Haile Selassie I paint up. If you go down a Jungle, Haile Selassie I paint up. Greenwich Farm, Haile Selassie East.
This is, to me, the culture. And I am seeing that the majority of people will accept aspects of the culture. I'm on the ball out Jah more than when we say Jesus right now, right? I'm on to put on a red, gold and green hat. I'm on to smoke herbs. I'm believe them is Rasta. But when it comes on to know the food, the clothes and the shelter, which is very political now, I want to know if the majority, the masses of the people, the black people in Jamaica, really believe in themselves. Say Rasta can offer them something outside of this what we call Babylonian system now and take it serious.
I feel so.
You feel so?
Definitely. And I think the people are actually expecting that. That Rasta know.
That's how the upper class and the masses.
You know, so one day, you know, it's just one of the rare days me I drive and figure, and you know, sometimes I drive to some bag walk and them place there is which station your radio can pick up. I'm really going to pick up multi station. And somebody just per chance, you know, somebody phone in and say, oh, them say Muta Baruch as Prime Minister.
Yes, serious.
Yeah, serious question ask, you know. And you know, Muti ridicule enough things and joke out enough things. But Muti gave a very, very sensible answer. It wasn't long, you know, but generally Muti was saying, why not? And, you know, I think he could handle it and them type of thing there. Now, that is the level that you need to make the people think now.
Yeah.
Muta Baruka, come take you in a stage show, listen to you upon the radio, come to the bookshop, listen to your reasoning and so on. No, Muta Baruka as the man who can run a ministry.
And that I want to find out now. Is the people ready to hear?
But if we don't start them
Muta
more
Baruka in our ministry or a Bonnie Wheeler
in our ministry,
in other words, in our ministry, that I want to
all right.
Yeah.
I would have known, and many ones would have known, say, I know Muta can run the Ministry of Education better than who they know.
Well, I feel so too.
I more than know. So
I feel so too. Yeah, I know. Oh, what is education as opposed to indoctrination?
I read, and I know the curriculum and all of these things. There will be no doubt that everything who graduate would have know about Marcus Garvey, Taki, Paul Bogle, Sam Sharp. That would be easy. You understand? And would have people are graduate with more self-confidence, with more power, with more...
I would give them the motivation.
Definitely, my brethren. Yes. So, all right.
So now you have to go find somebody now who will link the education now with technology now.
Yes.
So now you have to go find a Rasta man now who, after you give the people them, after Muta Baruka the Minister of Education now, show them this education now. There is a man, there's a next Rasta man out there that's going to take the baton now and say, this is the technology now, where I advance the education.
Right. Well, in the Ministry of Commerce and Technology now, but we have no Rasta in that field now.
No, I know we have the Rasta in the, you know, you see, and I am aware.
Brethren Redwood and all them, man.
I am totally aware that you have Rasta who is capable to do certain things, you know.
But I am
aware. The people, it's the people seeing us as just a cultural force. To be I mean, we have shown ourselves as a cultural without a doubt. If it was a Rasta, you wouldn't have no Jamaica internationally. It's Rasta influenced Bob Marley, Bob Marley influenced the world of reggae music. You know, the red, gold and green, the jaw, the dreadlocks. I mean, this is obviously, without a doubt, the culture of Jamaica.
Don't code promotion.
But see how much dancehall come now, we realize that the dancehall is still not going to overtake the Rasta culture, because even the dancehall artists project Rasta culture too. Alright. So we have to know, we have shown ourselves as a cultural force.
Yes.
And the people them accept that. But I want to know now, if really and truly, genuinely now, you know, the people them would have give credence to a Miguel as a minister in the parliament, no, there's a dreadlock, a Rasta man who has the Haile Selassie, who has smoked ganja and all them things. I want to know, as a minister now, if they would have really give credence to that. You know, I don't really need more education.
All right. I don't think it's more education. I think what we need now is that as a result of emphasizing the culture and other aspects, we have carried them in a certain mindset.
Yes.
We need to take them out of that mindset now and let them start to realize that we can run
more than a culture.
Definitely.
Yes. All right.
So it might need, but like him always say a thing, you know, say, when always about something about when the students are ready.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. When the teacher, the students
is ready, the teacher will always arrive.
Yeah, when the students are ready, the teacher will appear.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a situation now that the people now need to not just become more conscious or more aware, but from a point of view now, I start to realize now that a Bonnie Wheeler can actually be a minister.
Politician.
Yes, a minister of justice.
Yeah. Just a politician.
Yeah.
All right. And an Asta Black can be a politician. All right. So what
I don't like the word politician, and people don't like the word politician.
But
I know what it means to them.
Reach.
Yes.
It's a reach there now.
Yes.
I know them don't like the word, but it's not the word now we are dealing with now.
Yes.
Is the
function.
The culture, the criminal culture is where it represents.
Yes.
All right. We are looking Jalide now. Jalide over the years are content politically for the what them call it, the constitution,
right?
Constitutional reform, right? Him don't get the much support that he would have want from even his own brethren them. Maybe because of his repetition amongst his brethren them, maybe because of his way of projecting it, them don't get that support. Alright. We say historian come with a very political mind. One of the most political minded Rasta I know about the place, right? It goes into that. It don't get the support, say like Sam Brown and they come and them thing there. Alright. I would have declared so we're in a new era of Rastafari. Especially right now when we say Rastafari now is not just some elders, but you have young people now. What you have scientists, you know, you have Rastas who is versed in computers, you know what I mean? You have little bridging there.
International relations.
Yeah, which is not, that's outside of culture now, which is outside of culture now, right? And we know Rastas who is in, you know, who's working, you know, as, you know, some
architecture, agriculturalist,
all right,
and so on.
I am looking at all these things and I am saying now, the only people them, the only Rastas that the people them identify clearly is the artists. Clearly, the artists. So
those are them, them know those.
Through the music, them know that. And in the view of the people them, an artist is an artist. If he's professing a certain culture and he go up on the stage and jump up and him say, Jara to find him say certain thing, Bun Rome or, you know, Rapid Start certain thing. Him just see them as an artist. So him put you in a category. Alright now. How we're going to make the people them know that outside of this artist expression, there are brethren and sisters out there that has nothing to do with the music, that is making a genuine, positive
and
contribution,
probably a more effective contribution
to not just Jamaica now, but as a Rasta person. You have a Rasta woman who teach Babylon picnic and teach even people who are going to teach Babylon picnic too. So we don't hear of these Rastafari. So people is continuously looking at us as just a culture. All you think we need to propagate now this aspect of Rastafari, because over the years we have just propagated the smoking of the herbs, you know, the dreadlocks, the music and all these things. Alright now. Since because we're in a new era now, we need to make people know, the people them know, the masses of the people know. So look here, you have Rasta who know computer to the heights, you know. You have Rastas who know about water irrigation and land development and town planning like any other person. You know. You have Rastas who is lawyers, you know, who can articulate Babylon law and get you off a certain Babylon crimes too, you know. You don't feel that is the next part of the education. Because as I say, alright, you say your reason I genuinely don't feel say the people them know
ready for that,
are ready for that aspect of Rasta. Because Rasta has not emphasized that part of them liberty, that part of themselves, you know, it's art and craft.
Even worldwide. Worldwide, a man come on here, he expect to just the Rasta man play music or smoke him ganja and things like that. People come to my office and tell me that. Man from South Africa, I didn't know you have a Rasta man who's a lawyer.
You know, I am always, you know, smiling in my heart when I am talking to certain people in states or foreign, that them hear I articulate certain things, and they start asking if I go to university. And I said, no, them said, boy, your eloquence and how you put cross thing. I said, but you see it, we never think so we don't go sing and jump up on stage. You see, you think so we don't go write about, you know, Jah, Rastafari, Eli, and these things. You know, say, we can stand up in front of professors. And, you know, I have so much universities in the world here.
And talk, not even perform.
When I've done this program, I'm on my way to Yale. There's a whole of people would love to go. I know I'm finding myself going to talk to students, not listen to, but talk to students and professors.
And should let them know Yale is one of the biggest universities
in the world. Yes. And I am now called upon to articulate my perspective, because people is listening to me now and saying, why I have a perspective making clear. So I am saying now, the people them need. And that seems the Rasta afraid. And not Rasta, maybe not afraid, but it's almost like...
We need to open up now.
To open to say, look here now, we are capable, you know. And this, we have
We have the abilities, we have the brain.
abilities to deal with it.
But you know, there are reasons, you know, come to my mind. It's like manly is remembered as a man who do certain things and go on like in support Rasta and all them way there. And Bob and Manly have reasoning and Bob go up on stage and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so on. But you know, so when Manly realize now, so Rasta man is a chicken daughter now. You know, it's a different thing altogether, you know. That's what I mean.
I know a minister right now, I'm too people never Rasta.
When Manly realize that part, you know, who? No!
Is it too near to come fast?
Definitely no.
Too near to come fast.
That's the man knows if him pass him gate again, what go happen. And if him that ever be seen with him again and what go happen.
And this is the liberal Michael Van
Yes.
Well, this
so, in other words, it's alright. When him can come out show.
Yeah, from a distance. Love from a distance.
Yes.
Love from a distance.
But in my house now.
No, you know that joke at all. This is considered that IRFM.
Yeah, man. It's a good corruption.
Man, you've met the I know, say. This Iron Man is the manager for Bounty Hunter.
Are you man?
Yes,
Are you man?
Yes,
I'm serious.
So it's enough things now we're going to know.
First I used to play him on the running up.
Yes, man. We are carried a step further. One man and know said Bounty Hunter is not an ordinary. You have one no planet, you know, number 9 and motor run for 6 pounds. A very, very.
I'm going to drop it a little more.
Yes, I could make them. Yes, all one.
I use them a reason with and it's gone beyond just music.
Yeah, man. And he's a man who buy enough book on the bookshop, you know. Yes, he's a man who take him, you know, education and him knowledge.
Because, you know, I notice a whole heap, you know, I notice now, you see, like the Virginia, you know, and if everyone talk about it, but the Virginia now, inconsistent with him reasoning. What I say happen now with certain popular Rasta DJ, that it's like they might go back in the woman reasoning. I don't know if they notice it.
Yes, man.
This tune them, where you hear them come out with now, the Rasta one them, where they talk the culture, deep culture. It's like the woman thing come back. You know, because it's tune them that come from the woman thing, they might kind of bring back the woman thing now, but in a kind of Rasta way, kind of pretty it up.
Yes.
It's like I'm going to talk about Jesus and I say Jesus, but it's the same Jesus in my thing, pan.
Yes.
It's the same thing I hear now, and I notice certain ones on stage right now who was very in the cultural vibes, them gone back at the slackness. But them try to put it in a Rasta. It's like a slack Rasta.
Yeah.
You know, we don't understand.
No,
we don't understand,
yes.
You know.
I think a lot of them too, you know, you come off a track after a while and them no for them, you see, you have to have up to date, you know. You can't just back in a little corners and just see two things and cities and come out with things, you know. You know, man like Bob and them, man, the internationalists, travel worldwide.
Yes.
You reflect. So it reflects back.
And not afraid to open your mind to different people.
Definitely.
You know what is the weirdest thing to, when you have man around you, you feed your ego.
Yes.
You see, when you have man around you, I tell you how great you is and all you this and all
and everything you say is yes.
Yes. You know, because you say, well, I know this. You see, a man who move with a woman afraid to tell him, say, watch ya. Why motor? But like what you say last night, you know. And you have to contend with her about that now. You have to reason it. But it's when you don't some yes man. Anything when you say them say, why motor? Why you wicked, you know?
Yeah, especially when you feed them.
Yes. Oh gosh, man, that's worse.
Yes.
When them have to depend on you for money, there's nothing you can do wrong.
Definitely.
You know, see, nothing you can do wrong. But that's why I say now, some of them crew, when you say about the place, is detrimental to the artist.
Most detrimental. And you watch the artist deteriorate.
Yes. You watch anything what the artist do.
Yeah, man.
Them don't say yes.
Definitely.
You know? And that's why I say all the while, that's why for years now I have born crew without woman. I know see, a man cannot walk up and down with 10 man and no woman at the wrong around him. You know, see, I know see, a Rasta man cannot walk up and down with man. And then when you see him now, is a woman where he might fight against fair type. You know, him sang them. You know, it's like, you see a man now who is healing of Rastafari so much. But when you see him out there, him woman in a tights, in a bun up here, eye ear, catch up with falls here and thing, and a fingernail them gone out there, so like Dracula and all these things, you know. But yet still him is the one where him cry, bring down hell and damnation for a daughter out there. You know, see, and then when you see him now, he have 50 man a walk behind him. And I feed him ego and I massage him ego so much. You know, see, it's a serious thing. So, and I listen to the music them, you know. I listen to them, you know.
See my eye.
Yeah, I listen to them and I say, but wait, this is where I go on here, so. Alright? We know a man used to talk certain things with him no Rasta. But him come Rasta, and then now him start to elevate. Them elevate. Them elevate. Them elevate. Them elevate. To elevate the music and the words of the music. But it's like almost like, why right now, him just, you know what you was, you become still, you is still, but you go on like say he's not it still. So you find, you know, in the music now, him kind of try mask the nastiness we have in himself with the Rasta vibe. But eventually it's going to come out because you see more and more, the more tune he make, is the more you creep back out. It's a creep out back out time.
And what you find in the Bramuta, a lot of the musicians' vocabulary is very limited.
Yes.
Very limited, I say. If you make 10 albums, the range of words used
and the subject too.
Yes, is the same.
Yeah, the
just my twist a little way and all of that.
Yeah, well, the same.
They're not reading. They're not, like I said, now is the age of information.
Yes.
And in the age of information, if you're not keeping up and moving, you're going to be left behind.
Yes, stagnant water.
Definitely. Yeah, you have to 6 pants.
You can't. All right.
Yeah, all those who are on, it's like you must send them go down a West Bank, you know.
Miguel manage bounty out there, so Miguel come by the country there and come out bounty out there now. No, it's a brother that we like.
Definitely, but what could a Cherry Natural CD to you know?
Go up to Cherry Natural, yeah, where you tell me now? You're mad Cherry Natural.
No,
no, we'll be Cherry Natural, otherwise it was. Yeah, alright. We're going to give you a next bounty hunter. You know, we always say, before all of these DJs who is chanting all this so-called culture, bounty hunter was there. As a matter of fact, a lot of them is influenced by this brethren here, bounty hunter. But this brethren don't come off of the track. As I can see, him don't come off of the track. So maybe because him don't come off of the track, him don't get the hype. I don't know. Maybe him do have a whole heap of man behind him. I don't know. Him have a whole heap of man behind him.
Him have a whole heap of brethren, but you don't say a whole heap of what. But him have a whole heap of brethren and
no, but don't have a whole heap of brethren, but I don't know if him have a whole heap of brethren behind him. Because I tell you, Rasta, I tell you, you have some show to keep nowadays, you know. That when certain artists come in, you know them come in, Rasta. Because you have, no, you cannot imagine you as a promoter keep a show. And you contract a man to do a show. And you say, him not have no money, no, him not carry no money, no. And you ask him, so, how much pass you supposed to get? And him say, boy, right now, him have a crew. I make him say him have a crew at 10. Him not have no money, no, because he's a man who have band supposed to get 10 pass, you know, but make him say him have a crew at 10. By the time the night of the show, him not come yet, you know. But you have at least 20 of Rastafari. One of the things over here people address out the regular. They love Rasta. Well, that's the first thing we see. We see there's more love for Rasta now too. Especially even among so-called middle class young people. There's a lot of love. I can feel it for Rasta out there. A lot of them don't express it, but you know when time certain things come up, you can see it. A whole heap of one I said, boy, Rasta, we need more unity. I don't know, I don't understand where them understand about unity. But I am getting a thing that Rasta to I is very unified. But what we don't have is the uniformity, and I am thinking that that is what they mean rather than unity, because there can be unity without uniformity. What I mean by that, what I mean by that is that you have the Bobo, you have the Nyabingi, and people always say, well, you have Bobo, you have 12 tribes, you have Nyabingi. Where people want Rasta to be saying one thing right across the board. I am not feeling that because you have Bobo, you have Nyabingi, and you have 12 tribes. There's no unity. I think there's no uniformity in the theology, there's no uniformity in how we go about the culture, the philosophy. But there is unity. Because right across the board, every man will tell you about Haile Selassie. And Rasta will defend Rasta. A man will hear Muta up on the radio right now, and he will cuss Muta because Muta said about something, and I don't agree with it. But innately, him don't want a Babylonian out there said nothing against Muta Baruka. You know, see it. He will say, hey, if you love him, you know, Rasta, you know, see it the way there. He will fight for Muta. But when him sit down with him brethren and I listen to Muta, he must say, hey, how Muta deal with Rasta? The man did not deal with nothing. You understand? So that's why that there's no uniformity in the philosophy. But when it comes on to the unity now, I am wondering if the people them understand the difference between what is unity and what is uniformity. Because I am seeing Christianity unified, but not uniformed. Because I have different denominations and people don't go out there and say Christianity is not unified. Them say the Christianity is not people don't criticize Christianity because it has 7 days. Roman Catholic and Jehovah. Them criticize Christianity because of what they might as a unit done in history. So I am not criticizing 7-day Jehovah when it's a Roman Catholic. I'm criticizing Christianity because Christianity is what has perpetuated a lot of the evils of black people. So I am not specifying now. You know, but in terms of the unity now, how the I see I and I relationship with that aspect of the thing. The unity as relationship to the uniformity.
I would put it not just within Rasta, but within the black community, the broader African tradition.
Yes.
And it's that thing that bothers my mind to the point where I really analyze it over the years. The way I see it, black people will unite around causes, around specific events, around specific goals
like
and objectives.
Football,
yes.
I like Black in the Street.
Right.
Yes.
Or Free Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
You know, and I bring it down to this. If 20 of I and I, in our vehicles, and with our each vehicle pack up, and we are traveling from Kingston to Montego Bay, and one vehicle break down, we're either going to come out and fix that vehicle, if we can't fix it, but make sure secure it, park it, and the occupants join other vehicles. But at the end of the day, we all are going to make it to Montego Bay. So we have to have a specific objective.
Yes.
Because great man, Bob, enough man come along, Africans unite, and you understand, wanting this unity. But it comes like it's just talk. But whenever we see certain objectives now, we will work towards it. And it's along those lines now that I see that we're going to have to identify more and more objectives.
I'm going to keep the eye on the prize.
Definitely.
The prize out there.
Definitely. One of the things that in this now, which I recall my second advent within the legal tradition, I really, because during the time now out, I get to look on some things that were my objectives and which I have to achieve. One of the things is that I must file a suit against the government of Jamaica for the atrocities done to black people during slavery by the government and by the courts, the governmental arms, the courts, the police and so on. Specific atrocities done. Now why want to sue the Jamaican government, you know? Because we are joining the Prime Minister and the Governor General and so on in the lawsuit, you know. Here I want it now, because some people will say, why sue your own black people? My point is, and when I study the law and the Constitution, is that the chain of government was never broken. The chain of the court system was never broken from the colonial masters to a new government. P.J. Patterson and them just continued in the same vein as the colonial master, and they inherited and carried on. So I'm saying that the atrocities done by the white man, you can get sued and therefore be subject to compensation for it. And I want to test it, and I'm doing extensive research on it. So I will bring a lawsuit along them. I am hoping that when we bring these lawsuits, this can be used as part of the galvanizing force to help gel the people around specific objectives for compensation for what was done to I and I as black people. And the lawsuit which I'm going to work on is, as Rasta now, we have to sue the government. There are some laws which I have discussed this with, and they feel that it would be statute bar, that means the time is too far. But I was still going to test it for the atrocities done to Rastafari now over the years.
Especially in the Coral Garden thing.
Coral Gardens will be highlighted. And
what they say, the Carrigan thing's too far for
yeah, you see there in civil law, in lawsuits normally, in civil law, for most matters like these, you have a time span. You understand what I mean? In some instances, matters of negligence and so on is 6 years, you know?
So what about crimes against humanity?
This is it now. You literally right on the head. I plan now to use more of the international law.
Crimes against humanity?
Definitely. And in crimes against humanity now at the international law level, it states specifically that the heirs of those who have suffered can sue the heirs of those who cause the suffering. Yeah, over now.
Yeah,
there's no time bar on that.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the humanity.
Definitely. So we want to bring that into it now. So these are some of the issues that I and I feel now that as Rasta, as black people, white, and there might be other brothers and sisters who have other objectives in mind, that as we work towards these objectives, it will help to bring the unity together.
All right. Kojo, you remember Kojo?
Yes, sir.
I reasoned with Kojo the other day, and Kojo have this idea. Kojo is saying that on Black History Month, we should either ask, sponsor, or in some way get the Gleaner to publish every article that they publish and the atrocities that was placed against Rasta, that they have printed in a series of articles coming out in the Gleaner.
I would support that 100%, you know. As to the legality of getting them, you know, because them
well, we say maybe not getting them. Yeah. Well, what I was saying that there's many ways to do it. So we're either going to ask them, just like what, in the Gleaner, they have a thing about historical dates.
Yes.
These are the things that happen in certain dates in history. Days in our history. And them start to show you in 19 that.
Right.
All right. Either see that going off a similar line, but taking up more space.
Yes.
So it's either we're going to ask them to, on Black History Month, republish the headlines and the articles about Rastafari that they had published, or we know is going to sponsor and pay for pages. Yes. That for the whole month
would highlight these things.
Highlight. I think it's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
It's also one have to approach it with caution. That Gleaner there, you know, would really, when the Gleaner is going to say that we must congratulate the people of higher intelligence for trimming and shaving these disheveled creatures. The Gleaner used to encourage people to break the law, to hurt Rasta, you know. Yeah,
but you can go down to the papers right now and get that out of the... You can get those...
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you can pay for it.
Yes. Go to the Institute of Jamaica.
Yeah,
and
but
get that.
even took down the Gleaner. You can't go down the Gleaner and run through them. You have a thing where you can run through the thing and get it
on the
copied.
computer and
so get it copied.
I'm not going to the Gleaner, but
you can't get it on the Institute. But you can get all of the back Gleaners.
Yes.
In the Institute of Jamaica.
Yes.
All right. So what will be stopping I and I now?
From answering some of these things.
In the Gleaner, not on an newspaper, you know.
Yes.
We're going to pay for.
You don't think them would have war with you?
Who?
The Gleaner.
No, we're not talking about them war with now. We're talking about now making highlighting in Black History Month.
Yes.
Headlines that was relevant and related to things that was confronting Rasta from the early 1930s until now. Spent 28 days in February to highlight 28 different things that happened in the history of Rastafari in Jamaica. That I don't mean if them owe we or not, because if them want to publish it, them free, because we can ask them.
Yeah.
But no, not making it go out as just something, as an idea. We would try to get it published in the major newspaper, which is the Gleaner.
Yes.
Or even the Star, even the Star, I don't know how we can relate to it, because that was that thing what Kojo did show up, and I was seeing it as something where I feel it is good for Black History Month. Carrigan incident, there's so much that was written during that time, Buster Manti, go down there.
Back to Africa too.
Yeah, and the thing we just tell you about say we are good thanks to them for trim because
yes.
I feel we could have really pursued the matter still. You know,
Well,
I don't know the ice.
Right, yes, of course, we want to explore all of them things, yeah, so probably initially now, well, that's the thing, you know, Muta, when we come on them program, you know, and the reasoning and the vibes, so much ideas come up.
Yeah.
But we don't want it to stop at the program.
No, I never stop it. I don't tell you, it's a Kojo.
I know, but what we
Me and Kojo did reason about it, and I did think that it was a great idea that I should
probably what we need is a secretary, you know.
Yeah.
When we sit in on them program, a secretary to write them.
No, I never forget. I never forget because I in line with Kojo here, and like...
But that whole things come up since night.
Yeah, I know, but I am going to go back to Kojo, you know. I said, Kojo. Maybe I don't know if I listen to it, but I said, Kojo, it's the thing when I reason about the other day, we mentioned it to Miguel, you know.
Yes.
And now millions of Rastas are here without it now, so we need to get that going, you know.
And we want to implement it. But back to the point you make about how serious the people is and how the people are seeing Rasta outside of the cultural norms, that is as a musician and so on and so forth. I could have used myself as a little example. You understand what I mean? Because I think I'm outside of the cultural norms.
Yes.
And even now, the response to I-Man, knowing that I-Man can carry the cases them to the court and agitate for justice and rights of people and all of that. Tremendous, Brother Muta.
Yes.
The amount of ones
to
come forward. It's like the whole court system of the island wake up here now.
Yes.
I mean, I thought that's from the people point of view. You know, I talk all judges call me, you know. And I say, yo, Miguel, strength in strength. This is it. Fight on.
Yeah.
You have judges that listen to all the cutting.
Yeah, I remember when we go up at the thing there, up at Stone Hill there.
Yeah.
Did I get them reading?
Right. And all them little way there. So what we are saying now is that there are people then who are looking at I and I outside of that and expect a certain standard of I and I. Because people know so well over the years, Miguel have a reputation now for when it come on to all, especially Miguel and police, they don't like Miguel and Miguel don't like them, so it's war in a court every time. This, that, you understand what I mean? And as a result of that, gradually now, it's building along that line as to what you expect from a Rasta man who is challenging the justice system.
Yes. And they have to know, say, a Rasta like, stay that way.
Yes. And in other areas too. Just like I mentioned, you have brethren like Brother Camus, Karengo, who teaches up at Calabar, who excel as a maths teacher. You know, fantastic. So I think it's growing.
You have a brethren,
your program might have to highlight them more now.
You have a brethren who don't have Excelsior, who always writing articles in the paper about financial
whose analytical mind is amazing.
Definitely. Definitely.
And who is a man who used to work with Boys Town football team and all of that. So there are. But like I said now, and in the reasoning earlier on, how do we get that into the people's mind that there are brothers and sisters who are ready to take on administrative responsibility and who have a track record? It's not just like us that say, a man, they have credentials, I have that, but a track record of the... No people who know some Musa Baruka promote songs. That you produce songs. Yes.
But I'm not preaching still.
Yes, but you don't hear it so properly. They're just accused the Musa of talk and things. But it was when I listen to the Cherry Natural Fireborn thing and then something said about this one is produced by Musa Baruka. I said, wait, I
never know we produce.
No,
we record it and produce it because we hear I say it one time and we say, why, this should have gone there.
Yes.
Papa would have gone. You know, say, it should have gone there. But I would like, you say, I have no poet, I can't what people say. But you know, true, I know I use the poetry for really as a part of my consciousness. I would never did want one just call a poet every time and then when they might think about I think about I as a man who just said dub poetry. Because I think, as a thinker, I feel that I can articulate my thoughts and articulate my philosophy to anyone.
We have a track record of doing it.
But it's the people have a thing when it's artists that them don't feel that artists can articulate something outside of his profession. You know, so every artist is musician and musician talk about music. You know, them don't feel that you have artists who
can be teachers.
Yeah, can be teachers, can be computer wizards. You know?